Hey everyone!
Hello, hello, hello.
Live
hello.
from Spokane, Washington, it's Ken's Creations with Ken and Sean.
Hi, everybody.
So, for those of you who are just joining, welcome. For anyone watching the replay, just know that this is a live video.
Joe's early. Good for Joe.
And so basically it's a live video. If you're watching the replay, just keep in mind that we're answering questions live. Sean will try to catch the questions live. And also keep in mind that it's a little bit longer. My typical ones won't have the music background, all that good jazz. But this is really cool because people can ask questions live and you can watch it later. Also know any comments that are left during the live broadcast do go away, so no one will see those. And Sean has a mic. You guys should be able to hear him better.
You should hear me fine.
And I've been getting a ton of questions on chats. Is there any way you can move that light? Because it's right there.
Probably can do something.
So Super Chat. Super Chat is a way to support your creators. I've been getting a ton of questions. If you're on an Android or your computer, there is a little $sign. You can do a Super Chat, and that gives us that money as a donation. And then it also puts your comment highlighted up from a little while. And I think it's like between $2 and whatever. I'm not sure.
I think it's $2 and whatever. And we thank you so very much.
Yeah, if you guys do that. And then also, depending on how long the Super Chat is, the comment would stay up there.
Yep.
All right. So let's dive right in. Like I said, Sean is going to be writing down questions, so there's not a lot of interruption. So if I don't answer your question right away, Sean will be writing it down.
We'll get to it, so just bear with me. All right, thank you.
And I want to start off by saying I do not endorse or not endorse either one of these products. They're both great products. I've been a huge fan of the Misti ever since it came out, the Misti Mini. The Tim Holtz Tonic stout platform I'm enjoying a lot. However, I don't want you coming into this saying I'm going to say you should buy one or the other. I'm going to go over its points. You guys can then basically decide which one works best for you. Also, I'm not going to get into any of the drama between any platforms. There's tons of platforms coming out, so I'd appreciate everyone just kind of staying away from that as well too. So we're going to start by showing each one independently from each other. Now, I'll start with the Misti and then we'll do the Tim Holtz platform. The Misti does come in multiple sizes. So this was the original Misti Size, and it is measured basically 8 inches here by 6 inches here. It comes with a foam platform, which we're going to talk about in a minute. It comes with the base here with the lines and everything, and it also comes with that same line etching up top that you can see right here.
Laser etched, isn't it?
It is laser etched. That was an upgrade when she re-released it. Now this here allows for, this would be used for your acrylic stamps. So let me grab, this is a stamp set from Brutus Monroe. It's called Conservatory of Quotes. And I picked this one specifically. We're going to be showing something here in a second. Now all the links are down below. My links are a little different today. I've gotten feedback that some people like to shop at different places. So I've given you links to Amazon, scrapbook.com, and Simon Says Stamps, so you can check prices and everything. All those are down below. So anyways, this mat here on the Misti is basically so you can stamp with your clear stamps. And then when you remove this, that is what gives you the ability to stamp with your red rubber mounted stamps. Okay, so here it is like that. Now the Misti, like I did say, it came in 3 different sizes. I do not have the 12 by 12, but I do have the Misti Mini we're going to grab here, and I believe it's released with 2 magnets at first. I bought so many magnets, I'm not sure anymore. The magnets do not come like this. The magnets are normally just little, very powerful magnets. You want to make sure you're very careful getting these close together. They'll pinch your fingers and they will break. So basically, if you don't have, like I have mine taped like this, if you go like this and they come and go, psh, they'll actually break. In our video, we show you they break because Sean broke 2 of them.
Yeah, 2 came together and they literally broke right
They break in half. So plus they can hurt your fingers if they pinch them. So they come with 2 magnets. So this is the original Misti. It's got a nice foam backing, so obviously doesn't slide. The Mini Misti came out, and this was my go-to just because it's a little bit of a smaller space. Once again, you're going to get 2 magnets with this. See, they all just come together. Now, the Mini Misti is 5.5 inches by, I believe, 4.5 inches. So it's a little bit
almost
smaller.
5, actually. It's almost 5.
Almost.
That's 4, that's 4.5, and so 5 would probably be right there at the edge.
That can't be 4.5, Sean. That's like 4.25, 4.5. So it's almost. It's like 4.75.
Something like that.
But same concept. You have this little here, and it gives you the ability to use both red rubber mounted and your acrylic stamps. So other than that, they're pretty much identical. And then, of course, they released a 12 by 12 size.
Probably great for those who do scrapbooking, possibly.
Correct. Now, each product has different accessories that you can get with it. And we'll talk about the Misti one first, and then when we bring up the Tim Holtz, we'll talk about that. The Misti you can buy, of course, they have, which is really cool, they have grid paper you can put in here. So here's grid paper that fits in here, which I'll tell you is a huge, huge help if you're lining up stamps. They have a stamp platform here, which is basically for your red rubber mount stamps. So that way you have a nice grid up higher if you're using it higher. And then, of course, they have those for all the different sizes. At CHA last year, Misti also, with high demand, released what they call their corners. And you get basically 2 diagonals. You get 2 corners with those 3 powerful magnets in it. And then you get a rectangle. These 4 can be used in any of the Mistis. The L shape is too small or too big to go into the small one, so you can only use it in here.
Or the 12 by 12.
Yes, 12 by 12. Now, the reason they released this was basically a lot of people want to stamp either off the page or something. So this gives people the ability to use this, line up your paper, and now I could essentially, and we'll show you this in a second, but I could essentially stamp off here and not have to worry about it, because normally if you're going to line this up in the corner, like so, you're not going to be able to do that. So this really did open up the versatility of the Misti. All right, so that's a high overview really quick, and then we're going to do some stamping here once we talk about the Tim Holtz one and compare the two.
Thank you, Tamitha, for that info there.
So here is the Tonic Tim Holtz stamp platform. This has went through a couple of different design changes. So people that are in the United Kingdom, yours might look a little different, to be honest. The Tim Holtz still does rubber and your clear stamps. Its platform base is basically 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches, so a perfect square. However, there's no sides here. So really, you could work with a 12 by 12 page here without any restrictions. You also have your foam backing here, so same just like the Misti, it's not going to move anywhere. And the way this works, where the Misti uses those the foam also for your stamps, this doesn't. What this does is at the top, you'll see here, you have a clear side, and then you have a rubber side. And you'll notice on the clear side, the way that it works is, depending on what you're using it for, if you have the rubber side, it hits over here in the corner, so it gives you that extra room you need for red rubber stamps. And then on the clear side, if we were to do the clear side, just like that, it's hitting in the corner, but it's much less. So let me show you the thickness here on each side. I don't know if you can see that, but this here is the red, and then this here is the clear. So you can see that that's how the concept works. So whatever one's facing up. Now with this, they do have extras. The extras on this is they have a carrying pouch, and the Misti has a carrying pouch too. I think I forgot to put that out. And they also have where you can buy additional magnets. However, that's all they have at this time, so I'm going to talk about some negatives with that. So that's a quick overview of the two different ones. For demonstrations today, I'm going to be using the original Misti, which is this size here, versus the Tim Holtz. Before we go, though, I know Sean already has a few questions. Let's answer those so we don't get caught up with a ton of different questions leaving out.
Well, once again, there's a price difference is going to be one, and then again, those magnets need to know. This one comes with 2. This one comes with 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, if you put them together too close, if you're just barely holding onto them like this in one hand and just get too close, they'll snap together and they will break.
Yeah. So price difference, it is good to note. This right now on Amazon is $39.99. This one on Amazon right now, which is the original Misti, is, I believe, $60. The corners, which are these right here for the Misti, are $19.99, which gives you all those sets. The Misti Mini, which is this guy here, is usually, I see it around $39, $34.99. And then the 12 by 12 Misti, which I don't have, is $100. It's $99.99. So you can tell the price difference. This is a little bit more expensive. Everyone's already commented on that.
Someone was wondering, how much does this weigh?
That is a great question. I don't know.
I don't know. I could leave and grab a weight scale.
Yeah, why don't you go do that?
All right, you can do that. All right. Yeah.
While you're doing that, I'm going to explain these. Misti, or My Sweet Petunia, turned these on to me. I've given you the links down below. These are amazing. So this here is called the Novus Plastic One Clean and Shine. This is the Novus 2 Fine Scratch Remover. And then they even have a Novus 3, which is an aggressive scratch cleaner. They both work on either product. So you could buy these on the Misti's website, My Sweet Petunia, but you also can buy these on Amazon, everywhere else. I highly suggest these. Highly, 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 highly. Donna, thank you for letting me know that. Unfortunately, when you put in a title, so Donna said that we misspelled Tim Holtz. That wasn't intentional. YouTube obviously must not like Holtz. It must have put an S or something there. So we will fix that after the video. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. So this stuff is amazing. I've used it on multiple products, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend getting this stuff because it works amazing. So anyways, that was the only reason I say that is because there's many times that I've scratched this or got ink on it, and that worked amazing. So for the people that wanted to know the weight, let's check that. I believe this is going to be right around 2.4. I've been shipping a lot of these, and in their box it's 2.63 pounds. So 1 pound.
You can double check just in case if you want to go in the middle.
Okay.
And just
yeah, it's the same. Oh wait, 1 pound. 14.8 ounces is this guy. So 1 pound, 14 ounces. This one, which is the original Misti, is 1 pound, 3.7 ounces. But if we add this for the red rubber, well, we can take these out because we're looking just at this red. So with that, 1 pound, 3 ounces. So there you go. So this is just a little heavier. Which, a little bit. Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, but it is bigger. So if we look at these next to each other, if we turn this one, oh, look at all those magnets on that. If we turn this one to the side, it fits here, but there's a little, and that makes sense because this here is 8.5 by 8.5, where this is almost 1/2 by 6 and almost 1/2. So this one is a little bit of a bigger platform. All right, so let's talk about each one, and I'll show you the stamp on each one. Let's start with this one. And since they only come with 2 magnets each, that's what I will use for my demonstration purposes. Let's grab this set. I haven't used this set, so we'll start with the red rubber stamps. So we'll do this guy here. So on this guy, we'll put it up in the corner. You can put your magnets on. Great. And you just basically place this here. Make sure that your platform is set to the rubber right here. Go like that. Basically push down and it clings. Now, one thing I will say on the Tim Holtz platform, this clings amazing. I don't know if it's new, what the deal is, but it clings beautifully. So once you have it cleaned, you can either take it off and ink it, or what I like to do is, the nice thing on the Tim Holtz platform is there's a much greater angle that you have here. And so basically it's very easy to stamp upside down because of that angle. It's a natural angle down. You don't have as much of an angle on the Misti. So, and this is pretty sturdy.
I love these stamps.
So I'm pushing down really hard. This is sturdy plastic. The Misti, we'll show you that one there. It's I don't want to say it's cheap, it's just a little bit more flexible.
Yeah, it's just it's probably a slightly different material. Could even be thinner too.
Yeah. So all you need to do is push it down, push your stamp down, lift it up, and you have your stamp. So the great thing on both of these is the whole purpose of these is it is where it keeps it in place. So if you don't get a good impression, you can obviously push it down. So just like that, works like a dream. And keeping with consistency, we will do the same thing now on the Misti using the red. So because we're using red rubber, we're going to take this piece out, which is on the Misti. We're going to line this up in a corner, put our magnets, place your stamp. Got a little bit of residue from the last time. So here there's not as much of a decline, and when I push on this, there's definitely, you can see there's give, where I don't have that with the Tim Holtz. So we're just going to ink this guy up, flip it over, just like that. And beautiful.
Voila.
Voila. So there you go. There is the comparison of the two. There's not much difference when it's coming for something like that. Now, the only difference on these, on the, let me grab, I did not grab enough stamps.
Oh, not enough.
Oh, no.
What's the stamping area surface on the Tim Holtz? Once again, on this one, I know this is pretty small. It's 8.5 from this point right here to here is 8.5, and it's 8.5 to here. But because there is nothing here, you could stick a 12 by 12 sheet with no problem.
Yeah.
I think I'll even probably grab one, so you just kind of get an idea.
Here you go.
Oh, great.
Oh, that's not 12 by 12.
Show you a 12.
There you go.
So here's a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and we can just sit that right in there. Boom, you got a 12 by 12 sheet of paper in there with no problems, and you can do whatever you want. You obviously could not do that if you have the regular Misti or Mini Misti, because there's edges all through here. Now, it would work if you did have the $100 one that's 12 by 12, then yes, it would work.
Yeah.
There was a question that just went by, and I'm sorry because I was looking at the table. I didn't see it. If you could
So now
ask
let's
again.
do the clear stamps, and we'll kind of go over some different ways you can use it, and then, of course, the big differences. On the Tim Holtz one, you're just going to flip it over to where it says clear. We're going to put that back in. We can now put our piece of paper. We'll just reuse. Put our clear stamp.
Oh, the cheat. What's his name again?
Marcelo.
Marcelo the mouse.
Marcelo the mouse.
That's so cute.
And ink it up.
Thank you, Omar.
Close it. It's the first time I use the stamp, so that's not the tool's problem. It was just I didn't prime that stamp. But that's the great thing about this is the ability to... So just like that, it works. On the Misti, the big difference is you're going to insert this mat they give you. And then position your paper, position your...
Mona wants to know, how do you prime a stamp?
I just basically put ink on it, put a piece of scratch paper or ditch paper, and ink it up for the first time. It's just that first ink you're not going to get good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a good
It's almost like
transfer.
it absorbs a little bit into the stamp itself or something, so it's not as good.
Correct, yeah. So, same concept. You get this. Now, the one thing... Okay, so that's the basic... Before we show you more techniques, that's the basic basic thing. I do want to now kind of just point out right off the bat, first impressions of what I do and do not like about each one. So
and remember, these are your opinions only.
These are my opinions only. Neither of the companies endorsing me or anything like that. So the first thing, let's put these side by side so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Yes.
I'm going to write down the question before I forget it.
So the first thing you'll notice is there is no grid on the Tim Holtz platform. There is a I'll bring it up here. There is a grid on the plastic, and it's raised. So it's not coming off. But for me, I really like having this grid in the Misti, because if I'm trying to line stuff up, if I'm trying to do that, it is perfectly grid. So I can easily line up, for example, sentiment stamps. I can line up border stamps. It is a great way to know that I'm officially, so I can go right here and say, yep, that's lined up. And then when I push it down on the top, these grids on the top has been, it lines up perfectly. They match.
Yeah.
Now on the Tim Holtz platform, there is no grid down here, which isn't, it's not a huge thing, because you could easily take this off. So if I'm doing clear stamps, and use the grid this way. So I could technically come here, put it on the grid like that, and then I know it's straight because of the grid on the front. But there isn't it built in. So you could absolutely put a grid paper in here. The only problem with that is if you're using ink, you're going to have to replace that grid paper every time. This grid paper is underneath the plastic.
The acrylic.
So when I stamp on this, it easily wipes off. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, Melinda has a good idea. Do an acetate grid.
Yep. Okay, so the next thing, I'm already missing oh, there it is. So on the Tim Holtz platform, the other thing on my first impressions that I'm not wild about, and I don't know if it's just me, is because of the system of turning this around, which it didn't used to be like this. The first system, it had a thing where you would actually turn it around like this and go back and forth, and it was really kind of cool. But the new updated version, you have to do this and turn it around. The only problem with this, and it's not a big deal, is there is at times when I am going, if it gets off a little, it'll get stuck right here, and you have to kind of jiggle it, and it will eventually free. Like right there, you can see. So Sean says it's because I do things too fast. He thinks if I did everything slow. See right there? You can see it's stuck in that position. Not a huge deal, because basically all you have to do is kind of wiggle it and it will close. However, it is something to keep in mind, and there is the sense of sometimes it will get stuck a little bit, but other than that, it's not a big deal.
I'll have to point out that this here, metal all the way across in the pin, and on the inside is also metal, which shows that that's going to have some really nice wear and tear that you can just sit there and you're not going to have any problems with it.
Yeah. I do think when it gets stuck like that, it's because I'm pretty rough with it. So if you move it a little bit too much, it will get...
It's almost like if you're opening and closing at a slight angle with one hand, it's just going to get caught. That's
correct. All. So the Misti, a couple things I don't like right off the bat is I constantly get little... like these marks where it's the stamp platform. And the reason why is because it's not at an angle. When I'm trying to do this, it's just, for whatever reason, because of the flex of this, it bounces up and I'm constantly getting that on the side. Another thing is, to Sean's point, is the metal. So these are plastic joints. Yep, I believe they're glued on. I could be wrong.
They use a special acetate glue on this part of the hinge, but there is no metal pins through here at all.
There is no metal pins. However, I will say I've had this now a year and a half, and I've never had an issue with that. But it is something to note. These are stickers.
Catherine.
So
hers warped.
Huh?
Hers warped.
Oh no.
Misty, that's kind of weird.
These are stickers, so of course there is that. She did recently release, because there was a lot of guys saying, I don't want pink. So they are releasing teal stickers and cream stickers, but everything else is obviously a pink in it. So that was the only, big thing here, but it cleans off. So it's not a huge make or break thing. And to be honest, it's very easy to move. This is very simple and stuff. Now cleaning wise, both of them clean perfectly on here. So the actual pieces of plastic, acrylic, excuse me, I apologize. Okay. Clean perfect. for whatever reason, on the Tonic Tim Holtz, it's harder for me to clean ink off this base. Ink wipes off with a baby wipe for me on this one. On this, you'll even notice, even after a baby wipe, there's that slight residue of that ink left over. I can eventually get it clean, but it just takes a little bit more muscle. Also, here you'll notice the measurements are very hard to read.
They are tiny.
So the nice thing on the Misti is you have, I mean, anyone should be able to clearly see. It's a basic ruler and everything. So if you're someone that's doing a size card and you need to know that, it's right there. Where this one is hard to read. Like I have to even get close. I mean, I can bring it up real close for you so you can see how.
But also, the nice thing about that, it's got metric for all our Canadians. And
it does have metric, yes. Good point, Sean. Metric. If I can get my phone. So there it goes. So yeah, that's my first impressions of both. Before I start showing you some different stamp techniques and how each one does, Sean, what's your first impressions of both?
This is very fancy looking, I would say. They put a little more thought to it. The construction is much better looking for probably much higher usage. This has a lot of easy use. The ruler is definitely much easier to see and use. I do like how the grid is in here. You don't have to worry about anything. We're here. You have to come up with some kind of system like we've already talked about, maybe laminating one or just having one that's in there. Yes, you could probably use one of theirs that just throws it in there.
Yeah.
But
well, and I will say, clunky wise, this is smaller. Now, we've already talked about 12 by 12 side versus using this. Mona. But this here, for someone that is worried about size or clunkiness, this, when it folds up, it's a perfect rectangle. And I'm telling you what, this here, I mean, it's lightweight. This one, it's a little different size, but it's got a nice little ledge, which I like. So this one, when you close the lid, it doesn't take much. I mean, it's basically you're going like this. But this one, you always have a nice little lip to lift it up. But it's a little heavier. You can, I mean, feel the difference in that, Sean, when you're one finger holding that. Now take your other hand, and now take that hand.
You can definitely...
It's heavier.
Yeah.
I mean,
which shows that they put a lot more thought in this for heavy use and probably has a less chance of breaking.
I've never had an issue.
Not to say this would be an issue.
Yeah.
But
correct. I see what you're saying.
If there was.
So keep that in mind too, where this is going to be a little bit bulkier. All right. So let's go ahead and do a couple of different ways you would stamp using this. So we're going to start with the Misti. I showed you the basic one, but let's talk about this one. So a lot of people would ask me, I don't understand what the corners are for. What does that do for you? So the corners were introduced. If I can find my corners, where did I put my corners, Sean?
There's one there.
Oh, there they are. Okay.
Somebody was talking about corners. Somebody was asking, can you use your corners on this?
We'll check. So if you have a corner here, and we put our card here, and let's say this is that Brutus Monroe stamp. Traditionally, what would happen is they would always tell you, make sure your paper is in the corner, so that way you get a perfect alignment. Well, if I only wanted to capture, let's say, that part of the stamp, I wouldn't be able to do that. Well, with the corner, I can. I can put the corner here, move my paper, and now I can easily, if I want to, stamp off the page into that corner. So it gives you more options to get stamps that you would normally not be able to stamp off the corner.
And then, even though the corner is in the corner, you really don't even need to have it in the corner. You could literally, using that grid, you could probably bring this up in this area here too, line it up in a nice straight line.
Well, that's what's nice with having this grid down in the Misti is you can easily do that. You could put your stamp here. So what this is good for, Sean brings up a great point, is if you have, let's say, I thought I had it, but maybe I lost it. I have so much paper everywhere. There should be a little...
What are you looking for?
Well, if you have like a little strip of paper. So let's say I had one cut because I was going to talk about this, and now it's gone. It's gone.
Oh no.
Oh no. So let's say
cut one down
you have a little piece of paper that you are building a sentiment on or something of that sorts. So here's your little piece of paper. Now you can take one corner, put it here. you can take your other corner, frame it up here, and using this grid, you can make sure it's lined up. So that way you can also do off the stamp, you know, stuff.
Yeah.
So great ideas. But let's go ahead and use this like I was telling you guys. We're going to put our piece of paper here in the corner. And what's nice is on the Misti, I will say, is these are still strong magnets. So once you place this where you want it to be, so in this case there, it's not going to move. You're not going to have to worry about it moving. So once I have this, I can now position my flower. Let's say I want that corner right there, which means we're going to have a little bit of an overstamp. But now we could, actually I want to do...
Somebody was just asking if the height of the corners is the same depth in it than here. It's not. They are thinner.
Yeah, they are thinner. So if I wanted to do this... Oh, well, it would help if I followed my instructions, huh?
Need your pad.
Yeah, need the pad. So now I know already people are going to ask, well, now your grid's gone. That's why the Misti came out. Ta-da! You would take a strip off of the mat, put that on your foam piece, and now you have your grid back. So if people like the grid like I do, and now when using this, they can even have the grid for that. So essentially what this allows me to do is stamp off the mat.
You have a couple magnets.
Yeah. And so now I don't have to worry where I wouldn't have been able to do that in that corner. See, didn't prime our stamps, John.
Yeah. With it now, with the foam, now they're even.
Now it's even, yes.
It's
so
flush,
now you would be able
flush.
to do a 12 by 12 very easily. So I've had some people ask, can you do a 12 by 12? And now you would be able to. So it's nice and even to where it would be even on this. So that kind of explains the corners. Of course, the corners are used for other great things. So for example, if you have...
Hey, fantastic.
If you have, let's say, we don't need this because it's red rubber. You have this and you want to stamp, you can take now this triangle piece right here, put your corner here, so you have it nice corner. And what's great is now I can take this snowflake stamp and get a nice consistent angle on it. And then I could repeat it and get the same angle all the way up. So by releasing the corners at CHA this year, it really did, so like that. So that's what's great about the corners and stuff. And so now I could take, you know, and they have different angles and stuff like that, but now I could take, if I wanted to, another corner piece like so, put that there, and now line it up here. And you have a nice corner piece. So I don't want to spend too much time on the corners because there's a ton of different techniques. If you go online and even look up My Sweet Petunia, she has a great video showing you everything you can do with the corners. Once again, you can see, maybe I'm too aggressive. Look it, I got a corner there again too. So someone asked, can you use the corners on the Tim Holtz? I'm not yeah.
It'll stick.
It'll stick, but
how do you know if you're actually, other than that corner?
Other than that, I mean, you could in this corner. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could, absolutely, because then that would fit perfectly in there and it would work. So yeah, you absolutely could. Let's go ahead and do the next test I wanted to show you guys, which is what I call the one finger test. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a corner in each. And I'm going to go ahead, you know what, I'm going to use this one since we've already used it, so this way it's nice and fair. Put that in the middle. We're going to push it down, and we're just going to ink it up, and I'm just going to push it flat and just use a very simple center push to see how well, because I think because this platform's heavier, you don't have to push down as hard in my opinion. So I'm just pushing my finger right in the middle, and that's it, nowhere else. And that's kind of...
Looks good.
Yeah. So after one stamp, 1 finger push in the middle. So we're going to do the same thing now on the Misti. So we're going to put this one right in the middle. We're going to have it, oops.
See, now the Tim Holtz did a nice grab on that.
Yeah, it did. It grabs it a lot better.
Now, is it because it's new? Maybe.
So we'll do a 1 finger push in the middle like I just did on Tim Holtz. And we lost a little bit towards the top.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the reason why. This cover is way heavier than this cover. So the cover is doing a lot of the work for you when you're doing that impression. I'm going to go ahead and have Sean do it to see if just to show I'm not being... I want to get all the ink off this though. So, all right, Sean. So why don't you do the same thing? So we'll start with the Tim Holtz. And... and just do it in the very center of. Okay. So that's that one. And now, go and put that off to the side.
This does not have the foam behind this at all. There's no foam here. So that's why it should be pretty much identical with having a hard surface against a hard surface.
Okay. It is nice that the Tim Holtz has that handle to grab it.
Yeah.
So here's the deal: is that the Tim Holtz platform, basically because it's heavier on that cover, it's doing a lot of the work for you. It doesn't require it. This was something Tim Holtz actually kept repeating at CHA was he wanted a stack platform. He saw people using the Misti and they were doing what he called the CPR press, where they were pressing it all over the place. And he basically was like, you shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to just push in the center.
One push, you're done.
But I think the reason why, to be honest, is the fact that this is heavy. It's a lot heavier. Now I wanted to show you here. I got some ink on the Tim Holtz.
Somebody was stating that maybe using a little alcohol.
I agree, but I wanted to show my point to the fact that on this one here, when I use a baby wipe, it will not come up. On this one, because it's got this nice, I guess, shiny...
It's an acrylic, so this material is not the same as the lid.
It's not. This is like a hard plastic. It's molded plastic, so no matter how much I try to get that off, I've used Life wipes. Now, this is the Novus. If I use just their cleaner, let it sit a little while, even that, it's not coming up.
Yep.
Now, I can use the Novus 2,
the scrub,
which is a scrub, and it will take it up because it's gritty and it's gonna, but even then, you have to work to get this off.
Elbow grease.
Yeah. So for me, it's a little concerning because there's many times.
That's the ink he was using.
Well, and here's the deal. I know some people are already saying, well, he says only to use this. If I'm using a platform, if I'm buying a platform someone, I want to be able to use whatever ink I want. So for me, this is a little bit of an issue. So alcohol wipes, okay, perfect. Could use it. So, but I'm just saying on this one here, a baby wipe,
Boom, off.
done. So if you're doing a lot of off of, you know, you're going to be stamping a lot on here. For me, I've noticed this cleans up a lot easier. This one I have to definitely use a little more elbow grease.
Packaging tape on it, and it should come right off. Well, that's a little different.
Oh, I've never heard of that. Now, their lid...
I like this idea. You can put his craft mat down.
You could, absolutely. Yeah. I'm just testing this out of the box, so trying not to add too much stuff. Even the lid, it comes off really quick. It does leave a little bit of a residue, but that's why you have this. And it just cleans up, in my opinion, a little better. So those are the big differences. Right now, I tend to reach for my Tim Holtz platform a little more than the Misti just because it's new. The other thing is I grabbed background stamps. So,
answering a quick question, this lid is laser etched. It is not anything like that, where this is underneath. This grid here is actually underneath.
It is underneath this
And this
plastic.
one here feels like it too is probably molded. It almost feels like it's molded into the plastic, possibly laser etched, but...
Yeah. So once again, this is a full background stamp.
I love that background.
And one of the things that I noticed right away too, let me grab a new sheet of paper.
Paper.
All right. So,
yeah, yes, you're right, Black Cat. Initially, when the Misti first came out, it was just a printed grid.
It was
a printed
and
grid.
that's what I will say. If you have the original Misti, it did not have the laser etching.
Nope.
It had something else on the joist, and it was just a paper printed, and they made a lot of upgrades to the newer one. Yeah. Once again, I do like when I'm using background stamps. For example, here's the corners, that I have this nice grid to line my paper up on. So for me, this is huge because I know I'm getting a nice, even, transfer using these corners. I really love the grid in the base of this. To me, it's a something that is one of my favorite things, because now I know I'm getting a nice straight stamp. When I close the lid, I can see, yep, it's perfect. And it's it's great. On the Tim Holtz platform, you could absolutely, you don't have to go in the corner, but in the corner, the problem is there's no grid underneath. So a lot of people on the Misti, even if they're not going to, so for example, on this guy, you have the grid. I can place this on my grid and then close the lid and know, even though I have it in the center, I haven't used any other tools, that grid gives me the ability to know I'm straight. And the grid up top matches perfectly.
Yeah, somebody was asking if you have a 6x6 background stamp.
6x6, I don't think I do. So on the Tim Holtz platform, so even though my paper's up there, depending on where I place this, even if I get it up in the corner, all the way, there's no way to really, besides using it exactly right there. If I was to bring this in the middle, the only way I know I'm going to get this straight without using any other grids or anything would be to close the cover and line it up. I will say it cleans way better to this.
Yeah, it does.
So those are things to keep in mind. Now, that's not saying that this one won't get a grid eventually, but to me, having the grid on the base is a huge positive. Cleaning wise, I'll just kind of show you here. We won't push on it. We're just going to let it. So we'll just put this in the middle and we'll just put this down. And now I'm not pushing on it and it cleaned right away. We'll put this down in the middle. So that one doesn't, because it's resting on this, the only way for this to grip it is you have to kind of push it down and it will grip it. So that's a little bit of a difference. I've noticed that I've never had an issue with this gripping. So that's it's not a deal breaker, but because this, I just don't think there's a lot enough weight, and the corners here just doesn't grip it automatically. Is there any other test you guys want to see or do? This is a metal. Is that what you're asking? Yeah, this is metal laid, glued on top of the board. Nope, it's laid into the board.
It's like laid into the board.
Yeah, it's into the board.
It could be a very hard plastic too, but I mean, unless
It's definitely laid inside the board, though. It's not taped on.
No, it's not magnetic, so
no,
definitely not metal, unless it's non-ferrous. But
yeah,
who knows?
So for cost-wise, I'm gonna let you guys know the Misti. I do believe, and I could be wrong, so someone might have to correct me. But if I remember right on their website, I want to say that they're made in the United States. So for people that want that, it is. I thought it was, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm making that up. Someone could clear that up. I will say, oh, it's in China now. Okay, thank you. So it's made in China too. Oh no, Misti's made in the United States. See, I think it's, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think they're trying to say this was made in China.
Oh, this is made in China. Yes, this is, I'm almost positive all of my Sweet Petunia stuff is made in the United States. Maybe pieces. Oh no, look, you're right. Made in China. Big old sticker.
Big old sticker.
That cleared that up.
Don't know.
So, I will say cost-wise, here's the deal. So My Sweet Petunia comes with you can buy a lot more accessories with it. So you can get the pad paper. It's not, I mean, obviously, if you're using the red rubber band stamps, you have to make sure you keep track of your black little piece to make sure you have clear, so you know it's there. Where this is all encompassed in one piece. This also has the corners, which gives it some versatility. It's got the grid paper, which I love. But, I mean, technically, I'm a big firm believer in using stuff. You could definitely use their grid paper, which I know is probably not, you know, and use that as your grid paper below. So, first and foremost, both deserve recognition because they've made stamping, for me, a lot
and I'm sure it's
easier.
Not just you, but I think everybody loves it.
Yeah, I was not a stamper until the Misti came out, and then I fell in love with stamping because I got great results with it. So then when this came out, a lot of people started gravitating towards it just because it was a new concept, the way it worked and everything. There's pros and cons to each. Obviously, price is an issue.
Yeah.
This would be the way to go.
Yep.
$39.99 at most sites that I'm seeing it at. Some places even have it $32.99. The original size on this is $60. So obviously much different. The one thing I don't like on using the clear acetate is when you're stamping on here, you are stamping on a squishy foam. It's squishy. Where here you're still stamping on a
solid
surface. And so for me, it hasn't been a huge hindrance, but it definitely is one of the things. So really, it's going to come down to your preference. For me, I'm gravitating towards this one just now because it's new. I'm getting used to it. I want to really understand it. I do wish this had a better ruler.
Yep. People were just saying that the ruler's numbers are just so small that this should be and the thing to make this bigger, to make this better looking like that, they're either going to have to widen it out a little bit or bring this in a little bit just so you can get something much bigger with
or even brighter white or something
because it looks like they're using the same color.
So this has pros and cons for someone like that. So if you have a hard time seeing already, you're going to have a hard time seeing this. It's a little bit heavier. However, I will say the heaviness also does aid in picking up and cleaning and getting a better transfer without pushing too hard down. This one, you have the brighter ruler. It's lightweight. It's a little bit more compact. But it is going to require a little bit more with a push on it and stuff. So what questions do you guys have? I know that was a huge overview, but this way it could be able to get an idea.
Could put fun foam on the...
Yeah, so I agree with you. Black Cat said that 6x6 would work better with this just because of the heaviness and stuff like that. I will say this has turned into what I call the Cricut versus Silhouette debacle. There were people when I first started doing my videos that were diehard Cricut fans, and there was diehard Silhouette, and they did not talk about the other one, and they were standing true, and I've kind of run into that with this. There is Misti fans out there that will never use this. They've been with My Sweet Petunia since the beginning. They want to support them. They're, you know, in their opinions, a local business. I will say the owner has been nothing but amazing to me. She's been so great, forgiving, contests, and everything like that. So I love the fact that you're supporting a local business that started from the ground up. However, some people come over here and say, this is $39.99. It works great. I love Tim Holtz stuff. And for me, it's all about cost. So they tend to gravitate towards this. Some people, and it is unfortunate, and I think that's an education thing, a lot of people have made their decision on Misti based on the first generation Misti. And from what I've read and researched, because I had the first generation Misti as well, they did a huge improvement to it with the laser etching, with the better here, because this was peeling up. So if you had the first generation Misti, but you loved everything else, you do want to give them credit the fact that they listened to the customers and they made improvements. So what questions do you have? So yes, I do know someone had asked about the precision press from We Are Memory Keepers. That also got changed since CHA, and I haven't really used a lot of it. So I haven't done that. There is the Fiskars foam one where basically, I don't have it anymore, but there's a press where it has these 4 little foam pieces. It's only like, I think, $15, the Fiskars one, and you push it down and it pushes up. I could never go to good transfer on it. I think I just didn't know how to use it. I was not a fan of it, the stamp press. So anyways, yeah. Other than that, I know, Sean, what do you say between the two?
They both do what you want them to do, plain and simple. I think just since we got this one, the Tim Holtz ones, I just like it a little better.
You like it a little better?
I'm not a fan of this either. I understand it, but
we'll
have to
do the alcohol. I have some down here, I think.
Do you have alcohol?
I think I might have alcohol.
If not, we have some upstairs.
Maybe.
I think it's upstairs.
Oh, maybe it's upstairs.
Yeah, I think it went back upstairs.
Oh, okay. So, it sounds like if you have alcohol...
People are talking about the Fiskars wasn't very good.
The Fiskars wasn't?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, they're saying those are bad.
What was? Fiskars?
Fiskars was bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
So,
I mean, I think the concept was there, but it just wasn't good.
See, I'll have to try the alcohol wipes.
Yeah.
Cleaning this one has been easier in my opinion. I'm not going to lie. I've been using this one a lot. I've not had to clean the top because the way it slants down and everything, maybe it's just for me, my ink doesn't hit the sides. My biggest complaint, and maybe it's just mine, I don't know if anyone else is having the same issue. My biggest complaint on this is it gets stuck. So
I think it's just the way you're using
continue use.
Operator error.
It is not operator error.
Just kidding. Keep a little spray bottle of alcohol on my
system. Is TH strong with magnetic hold? Strong you are.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I would say. So now try.
I mean, I've got it on there. I'm pulling on it. It's got some good. It's got good grip.
Whoa.
Ooh. I'm thinking about the same. I don't see much of a difference.
Yeah. I mean, their magnets might be a little, because I put tape on it
just
for me.
Pull them off easy.
Yeah, because it comes off easy. Let's take the tape off this one, because this is one of the My Sweet Petunia magnets. I don't think the clear washi tape.
It's very possible that they're probably getting their magnets from the same company. More than likely.
See, I don't know. I'm telling you what, feel that now. Okay. Try to get that off the board. And now use that. That's the Tonic Studio one. Her magnets are stronger.
Theirs is a little thinner too.
Yeah, so
not by much. We're talking like a.
Obviously, a magnet's a magnet. You guys can use it on any one. But here is the difference in size. So this one here is Tim Holtz. This one here is.
No, it's the other way around.
Oh wait, this one's the Misti magnet. This is Tim Holtz magnet. Yeah. And her magnets, in my opinion, are stronger. Yeah. A lot stronger, but they were so strong that's why I had to do this, because they were so hard to pick up, and this literally was my saving grace. I saw someone do this on video and I was like, that is ingenious.
Yeah, they were talking about the same thing with doing that with the lid, putting washi tape on this lid so you can have something to pull up with.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could.
Tammy threw her...
Well, the only reason, here's the
away.
deal. I don't have it. I almost bought the We Are Memory Keeper one because they have an accessory in it that is a grid. It's like a grid pegboard, and you get letters with it that you can line the letters up on it perfectly. Like you snap it in, and you can get a perfect straight sentiment. And I really almost bought it for that reason alone.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah. Their first one that they had at CHA I wasn't a fan of because they were going with this whole like, use red, yellow, blue, and green and get this. I don't even remember what they called it. But their new one's not bad. I like it because it has a lot of different things on it. But I don't like it enough to where I have... Yeah, see, and that's what I've heard. The only letters you can use are the ones that came with it, and yeah. So for people that have issues with the magnets sticking together, because it will happen, you'll put them on the other sides of the room. Putting washi tape will be your saving grace, because when they stick together, all you have to do is take your washi tape and pull them apart. Yep. That's why I have washi tape. It's not, believe me, I didn't sit here and be like, gosh, I want to decorate up my magnets.
So here's two of them put together, right? You really have to, if you don't have fingernails, you're
not on camera.
Oh, sorry. I really got to get, and there we go.
There you go.
They're tough.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how tough they are for us.
So that's the whole reason I did the washi tape. Yeah. Down below in the description, I also gave you links to some very cool square, because these are called Neo Magnum magnets. Neo Magnum magnets or Neo something.
It's got a weird name.
Every time I hear the name, I think of the Matrix, like Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah.
But they have these bar magnets that are awesome, and I need to get them because I mean,
that's what Angela was just saying.
They would like cover this whole card base, like
nice,
amazing.
So they're thin.
I don't know.
Thin bar. Well,
I don't have them.
I'm assuming they're thin because you wouldn't want anything thicker than those because you couldn't close your lid.
Okay, so here we go, peeps. What we're gonna do? I have people asking. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. I'm gonna go grab alcohol, Sean. You have to go. You have to.
Oh, I have to entertain the troops.
Yeah. Oh, here. Let's just do it in here too. Since we're gonna do this, why don't you go get it? Go get that. Yeah,
okay.
and the.
All right, I gotta take off my microphone. Sorry.
If this alcohol does not get this off my Tim Holtz platform, I am gonna be not a happy camper. I'm just saying. Just saying, peeps. So I'm gonna ask you guys real quick, and I know people that are watching the replay can't see it. If you had to choose right now, please type which one you would choose. I just want to see what you guys are gonna do. Because it is interesting. So if you had to buy one, which one would you buy? Wow. So for those of you who can't see it, everyone is saying Tim Holtz. And it'd be interesting to see why you're doing this one over this one. Is it because of price point? Is it because of, what is it? Oh, now we got like 4 Misties coming through. The Misti fans are seeing this and they're saying, wait a minute, peeps. I asked him which one, and Tim Holtz is winning, and it's all about cost.
Of course, cost is always going to be a big...
Okay, so is this on there? Well, see, it's still drying. I might have done too much. So let's see if we can just get some of that up. And see, it's on there dry.
And it's just rubbing off because it's so easy.
Yeah, see, the Misti, I will say, with a baby wipe, it just wipes right off. So we already know that. So the baby wipe will take off the top. So you'll see there, it does take off the top.
Put it over to the other side so they can see it on the camera here.
Yeah. So I'm telling you right now, the Misti cleans up super nice. I won't lie on that. So now we're going to put a little alcohol on it. Let's put a lot of alcohol on it. A lot of alcohol makes everything better.
Use a dry one.
Use a dry one. I got a dry one.
Okay.
All right, here we go, guys. Mother fudger. Oh.
Yeah, see.
Oh, I hate the color. Okay, so here's the deal. This is disappointing because now I'm gonna have to buff this stuff out. So here's the deal: is it doesn't clean up as good. So I would not stamp.
Would that stuff that you love so much, would that work?
Oh yeah, well that would work because it's a Fun Stamper's Journey product.
Lighter fluid, Black Cat says.
So yeah, I mean this is gonna take it up in a heartbeat because this is formulated to remove their ink.
Look at that.
Yeah, I love this stuff. I swear by
That
this
stuff will
stuff.
clean up anything.
This stuff from Fun Stamper's Journey, it's called True Color Fusion Cleaner. I use this on everything. It takes up any ink. It takes up like anything. This stuff is amazing. I have like 4 bottles of this, and I use it on everything. Glass, wood, everything. Yes, maybe it is this ink. It could very well be. But my point is, I guess in a way, is
Goof off.
I want to be able to use any ink on any platform.
Right.
So, you know, I think that's why they probably released this, is because their ink is so good and permanent, but it is what it is. Yeah, you don't want to eat your platform, even though this platform is pretty, it's sturdy. So anyways, any other questions you guys have on this?
Can you clean your stamps with this stuff? Yes.
Yes, that's the whole point of it.
Absolutely.
So I know this cleaner, Andre's my little, I think he's New Zealand. But this cleaner is amazing. I use it on everything. Now, I have other people's cleaners. I use cleaner on everything. This gets everything off any stamp. I tell you what. It could be eating my hands away. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? It says it's not. But it works so good. This magical juice, it's not very expensive. It's like $5.95 or $6.95. I'm telling you what. This cleaner is awesome. So True Color Fusion, you got to get it from Fun Stamper's Journey. So down below I gave you my link for Fun Stamper's Journey. What are the ingredients?
Don't know. Doesn't say.
Works on tough ink stains, designed to clean all True Color Fusion inks and work on conditioning and on your stamps.
Well, there you go.
This stuff is awesome. I'm telling you. And it's not just because I work for, or I'm one of the things. I love this one. I know it gets food coloring off your hands. This here is the only thing that will remove ink stains that I get from certain inks. So hopefully it's not eating our hands, huh?
I doubt
it. It says it conforms to some California standard, and their standard's so high. If it passes anything in California, we're good.
What about the Brutus Monroe stamp cleaner?
I haven't tried it on any of this. We can try it.
Where is it?
Well, you have to get ink on here.
Well, I know, but where is it?
Okay, Sean. We'll try a few of them. I have.
Griselle says that's what she has.
What?
I like the size of the Hampton Art Press. I've never heard of that.
So the Hampton Art one is Hampton Art, in my opinion, I think Hampton Art was the exact same thing as this, but it was just teal, right? Yeah, that's all the Hampton Art, so it's completely gone. Like, because it was a copycat of this. Like,
you probably got in trouble for it.
Yeah. Oh, if you get it right away. Well, crap. All right, so baby wipe. We're not letting it dry. Maybe if you use a baby wipe right away. Nope. See, baby wipes maybe make it worse. Look at it, just kind of. Okay, so we have ink there. So let's dry it. So dry. So here's
on the
Brutus.
other side. You can't see it.
Oh, sorry.
Well, people want to see it.
They can see it. It's just, because of the comments.
The comments are the way.
All right.
There you go.
So this is a Brutus Monroe Squeaky Clean.
Nope.
Uh-oh. Well, but see, here's the deal.
Sorry, Chris.
I think the reason why is, I don't know if it's necessarily the cleaner.
There's something
in that ink. Because if we used... All right. You guys have completely hijacked this whole thing. Let me get other ink here.
That's Spritz Clint, sir.
See, I think...
Thanks, Tom, very much for that.
What?
She gave us $2.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
So let's grab some of this ink.
Yeah, I'm sure if you stamp it and clean it immediately with an alcohol, it'll probably work just fine. But when you let it sit there and dry or try to do something, put some Pam on the liquid hinge. Yeah.
What? Put what? Oh.
Oh my.
Oh my God! It turned it purple.
I know.
Okay, so this is someone else's ink. It's not Fun Stamper's Journey. Maybe that ink is just super duper ink.
So whose is it? Oh, it's Gina K's.
See, yeah, so it's got to be something ink because the Brutus Monroe ink took this stuff up right away.
Almost. I mean, it's still there's just a teeny residue there. Just
Where?
It's there. I can see it from here.
I don't see any residue.
Kieran says white vinegar. That would be interesting.
So, but here, look at that. It like glaze. I don't know. That's I don't get it.
Good stuff. Whatever it is.
It's probably acid and it's killing me.
No, it's not.
It is good stuff.
Good stuff. Look at that.
But it leaves a residue. Look at that. Feel. Like
yeah, it leaves almost a
greasy residue.
Oily something, yeah.
Yeah. But, I don't know.
But hey, it works well.
So if you're using, here's the moral of our story. If you're using Fun Stamper's Journey True Color Fusion ink, you're going to want this stuff. If you're using some other ink, this works. This is my go-to ink. Anytime, of course, I'm using Brutus Monroe, Gina K, anything like that. It works great. I also use this, obviously, on... this works really good on clear stamps cleaning, too.
Well, you could take take that craft mat, cut it down, and put it right on there.
Oh, that's a good idea. I could.
Yeah, that's what Renee was kept saying. Just put a thing. Hi, Christopher. Let's see. Chris says ours was similar to that. Be careful. It takes off nail polish.
What takes off nail? Yours?
Chris's, yeah.
This probably takes off nail polish because this takes off everything. Does. This probably is taking off layers of my skin. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. So this is what way past my time.
From Melaleuca.
What?
Somel from Melaleuca. That Melaleuca company.
I will say the Fun Stamper's Journey stuff does leave a little bit of a greasy layer.
Just a little residue.
I don't know what's in that then. I need to research that. I use it on everything. I'll be honest. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm seeing a lot of stuff come through. So, anyways, oh, you reformulated it. Oh, Christopher Allen says they reformulated it.
Because Maymay.
Maymay, how funny. Blame Maymay.
Maymay made it.
All right, so back to the original point of this video. Now that we've done a whole comparison off the fly that I wasn't prepared for, is the comparison on this. It's hard. I'm not going to tell you which one to go with. It's going to be personal choice. But
rose, huh? Go ahead.
What?
He says there's rose in here. It does smell like roses.
Let me smell. Oh yeah, it does.
Nice job, Chris.
What does this one smell like?
Not like roses.
That's probably killing us.
Yeah, very nice.
All right, that's hilarious. So anyways, I'm not going to tell you once again which one to go with. I think they both have strong points. Cost-wise, I'm not going to lie. The Tim Holtz one is cheaper at this time.
Yeah.
I searched all over the internet to find this lower than $39.99 at this size. You can find the Misti Mini, which is this little guy, at $39.99. But yeah, so cost-wise, it's definitely that. Let's put Christopher on the spot. Which one does Christopher use?
Christopher, which one do you use? This one smells like roses.
It does smell like roses. You're right.
It does. Amazing.
Yeah.
And I love the smell of rose. If you could only buy one, which one would you buy?
I can buy both, so that's not that's not in my realm. Gosh, that is hard. I don't know. That's hard. Here, yeah, it's hard. I would say at the present time, if I had to buy, there's pros and cons. I'm not going to answer that. I can't do it. It's too hard for me. I use both. This one takes up more room. I'm not going to lie. And I do get mad that it gets caught up. And maybe it's just me, but it gets caught up. But it does a good job. I don't know. I like them both. I'm not picking one. I'm not doing it, people. Back off.
I'd probably choose the Tim Holtz.
I know you would. Tim Holtz one is definitely masculine looking. However, I do know that she's releasing teal, white, and I think for special people, black.
Oh.
So, anyways. Yeah, that's the biggest difference. Cost-wise, obviously Tim Holtz wins. I do like the grids and the papers that you can buy with this. So, there is that too. So, you know, but I guess you could use grid. So you can go back and forth.
Yeah.
So, any last questions before we?
That's right. Chris never did answer, unless he
Christopher
left.
didn't answer.
Unless he left.
Here's the reason why, you guys, and I hate to say this, is I love the owner of My Sweet Petunia. I think she gives great customer service. She had the product out 2 years prior than the platform. She's come out with some amazing products and stuff. She's very, very, in my opinion, great. Christopher, if you had to choose the Misti or the Tim Holtz, which one would you choose? And go.
And go.
See, yeah, now everyone wants to know which one he chooses. So that's why it's hard for me. So for me, I would choose, because of my relationship, I would probably choose My Sweet Petunia. Because for me, it's that all day long. But now that I have this one, I am using it more and getting used to it. So it's really hard. I don't know.
Somebody asked if the hinge for the Tim Holtz is magnetic in the hinges, and it is not.
No,
but it's brass in there.
It's brass. That's my only biggest complaint on that, is it tends to get stuck. For red rubber mounted stamps, I do like using the Tim Holtz one a little more. I don't like it as much for my clear stamps. I tend to gravitate towards this for my clear stamps. So for me, using Fun Stamper's Journey and a lot of the red rubber, I tend to use that one more. And then this one is for my clear stamps. But so it really is going to come down what works best for your needs, your budget, and what you're going to be using it for. So it is definitely going to be that. So this one is heavier.
Not by much.
Not by much, but it is heavier.
Mm-hmm.
So
there you go.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, and for me, yeah, it's going to come down to what you definitely think and stuff. I do wish, and I have brought that up to her before, of having the metal hinges in here, but I'm assuming that the reason they chose to go this route was because of cost.
Probably cost, and probably even easier to put together. So
I hate to say it really is going to be a Cricut silhouette thing all over again. It's going to be, which one do you prefer? I prefer both for different reasons, and I'm fortunate enough that I can have both, but I do know that some of you have to pick one. So cost-wise, if you're going 100% on cost, Tim Holtz all day is the cheapest. Now it is. I'm not saying it's going to be that way forever, because prices change on Amazon left and right. So that would be cost-wise. So that's one big thing. So I hope it gives you guys an idea of which one is best for you. You'll be seeing them used in both of my projects all the time. I will say for YouTuber, and this is just me being selfish, I tend to almost want to use this because I can get it in the whole frame of my shot. Because when I'm doing a project and I go like this, it's out of the shot, and that drives me insane. But I can do it this way. See, look at that. What is wrong with mine? Maybe mine's broken. It gets stuck.
No, you're not the only
one. So anyways,
people said it gets stuck too.
In my videos, you'll see me use it in this way because I hate the fact that I can't get it.
Yeah.
See, look. See, it does. It gets stuck. It's not in my head, right? Am I crazy?
No, I get stuck from time to time. Just the way you do it.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, that would be my say. If you are going to gravitate towards My Sweet Petunia, last little bit of advice. If you are going to gravitate towards the Misti, spend the extra money and get this size. The Misti Mini is great for certain things, but it's usually $15 more to get this, and you get so much more room. You need to do that. But with that said, when I do use my Misti, I use my Mini Misti because I use A2 cards. So this is the perfect size for my A2 cards.
Chris, how can the Mini be your favorite when you like doing 6x6 cards? This is 6x6 or 5x?
These 5x5 cards.
Yeah, you'd think that the other one would be easier.
So, anyways, it's cute. Look at it. It's like his little brother, little sister. But yeah, I would go this one if you're gonna get the most. If you could get both because you'll find a need for them all. So yeah, anyways, there is your guys' side-by-side comparison. Any last questions before we are done for the day?
And you cannot buy this like at any of the stores, can you?
I don't know. I don't think you can. You can buy it on Amazon, My Sweet Petunia, all the sites. I haven't even seen this in the stores yet, so I don't know if this will be in store.
It might eventually.
So I'm not sure. I don't know if either of them are available yet in any of the stores, but they're available anywhere else. So it is, yeah. So anyways,
there you go.
There you go.
Baby skips.
Sean has made up his decision. Sean says he would go with the Tim Holtz.
Yep. Only because it's just nice. I like it.
I will say, though, at CHA, did Tim Holtz know my name? No, but Ileana did know my name.
I know she did, yes.
I'm just saying, hashtag just saying.
Just saying.
As you can see, it didn't influence my decision, but
Georgia, I'm calling you.
to me, that was a very cool that she came up and introduced herself and stuff.
Yeah,
but
she was very nice.
Yeah, so
right.
So Tim Holtz, just saying. So anyways, Blitzy has Tim Holtz cheaper. That's good to know.
There you go.
All right, guys. Thanks for stopping so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.